Hello, everyone. Welcome to Behind the Helm. If you want to check out this show live, make sure you go to Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch every Thursday at 4 p.m. If you want to watch the show afterwards, you can go to YouTube. We'll have our regular show plus bonus content. If you want to listen to the show in your car, maybe in the shower, maybe while you're just chilling doing a workout, head over to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you could find a podcast, and search up Behind the Helm. Enjoy the show. Episode 45. 45 glorious weeks of Behind the Helm. Welcome in. If this is your first time here, it's about time. You had 45 chances, and you finally made it. Well, it doesn't really, bother me or anything like that, but at least you're here. If you're not here, then but if this is your 45th time, what's up? Welcome in. It's good to have you back. If you're in the chat and you've seen it before, say what's up. I see Hedrick's already here. Yeah, I don't think Hedrick's been in here for a minute, so thank you. I hope everything's going well with your with A school. So my name's Petty Officer Levesque. With me today is
Staff Sergeant Sean Tanner.
This is the first time on the podcast here. We had I've had Staff Sergeant Griffin on a few times, but I think that was before you got here.
Definitely was, yeah. But you told me about the podcast. It's an honor to be here.
Wow, that really means a lot. Like I've said, and same with Chief Dowden, who can't be here today. He's on leave, hanging out with his son, having a good time. This podcast is about spreading military awareness. It's not just about the Navy. Is there somewhat of a bias towards Navy here? I mean, clearly. The show is literally called Behind the Helm, and it's run by two Navy recruiters. But we want to make sure you guys get all the information possible, and you can know the similarities between the branches and the differences and find out, like, things that you may not have known, things that we may have in common or things that you didn't know was different. So that's why, I bring in people from every branch, and Staff Sergeant Tanner here, he's a recruiter out of the Muncie office. So if you go to Muncie Central or Blackford or
Yorktown or Madison Grant or Oak Hill, any of those,
you've probably seen this guy around.
Oh yeah,
maybe. So I wanted to bring you in so I can, make sure people know who you are and kind of pick your brain about some things. I know you've kind of had a pretty cool journey so far in the Air Force, just from what I've seen, and I haven't got too deep with it. Honestly, this is gonna be like first time I'm really picking your brain here, and there's no getting out. The door's locked, so this podcast can literally go however it's gonna go. So, but if you're watching now, you're watching live. We're live Thursdays at 4 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And if you want to hear the podcast later on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get podcasts, go ahead and go there. I know there's been kind of like a backlog of podcasts, but we are working on it. By we, I mean me, working on getting all those ready to go, and then I'm going to upload them. So you're going to see an influx of podcasts being put on there, so you don't have to see my face, but I think that's what you came here for. That's what you came here for. So, and also, sorry for being so well dressed today. I was in Anderson High School, so saying what's up to everybody. So, Juan, where are you from?
Man, so originally I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I spent time in California. I graduated high school in California, then I came back to the Midwest and started life as an adult, you could say.
Why'd you move out to Cali?
It's kind of funny because I was a sophomore, and then my mom just asked me one day, would you like to move to California? Out of the blue. It was summertime, and then I said, sure. And then she showed me where the school would be, how close I would be to the beach. And I was like, of course. So
just randomly was like, let's move to Cali?
Very random.
Now, did
Very
she
random.
stay out there, or did you guys just all move back to the Midwest? Was it just like, okay, never mind, let's go back to...
So it was just me and my mom, and we stayed there. I graduated. I spent maybe a few years, started working, and then I moved back to the Midwest because my grandmother got sick. So
Okay. So does your mom still live in Cali?
no, she actually went back after I
Okay.
went to the Air Force, but she's back in the Midwest now. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Everyone just comes... Well, I mean,
It's home.
it's home.
It's home.
I mean,
Yeah.
people from the Midwest, they love... I think there's a sense of pride of being from the Midwest.
There is. It's home, but after coming back this time to recruit, I think it's time we spread out a little bit and experience new things. I love
Yeah.
the Midwest, though. Don't get me wrong. It's always home.
I think like the Midwest is like, it's crazy to think like Chicago is the Midwest.
Why you say
Like,
that?
because it's like a big city. So
That's
like, it doesn't really feel like when I think of Midwest, I think of like, rural Indiana, rural Ohio, Missouri.
Okay.
Like Chicago seems like it could hang around near New York.
It's possible.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's the kind of vibe of the city.
So my experience in Chicago is totally different. When I got out here, I'm like, this isn't Midwest. Chicago's Midwest. This is so different.
Okay.
When I get to Indianapolis, I'm like, okay, this feels like home now.
Okay.
So
You would have a good time in the Northeast then. I feel like you would.
okay,
Because it's more city-like over there.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it would be. Yeah.
So when did you... So you made the decision to join after you graduated? Did you go to school at all, or?
Yes. Man, I did some school at a couple different schools, and I saw where that road was headed. I didn't want the debt. That was my thing. I didn't want debt. It wasn't smart, and I was trying to find a way to get it all done together.
What were you going to school for?
To be a dentist.
To be a dentist. Let's see the. You got pearly whites.
Yeah,
That's a good smile.
I got a nice
That's a good
smile.
smile.
I got a nice
I don't know if
smile.
it's as good as
Yeah.
Griffin's though.
It might not be. This man looks like Captain America out
Yeah.
here. So yeah, he's
Yeah.
a funny guy. But yeah, I was going to be a dentist. I was doing like pre-med stuff, and then it wasn't really working out the way I wanted it to. Then I had a job at Costco, which is still my jam. I love that place so much. And I was making good money, but I always wanted to be in that upper echelon of money if I could. And I knew I wasn't going to do that at Costco. So how can I get a degree, some experience in life, network a little bit? The Air Force.
So was anybody like influential to you on joining, like, or was it really kind of your own decision? Like, did you ever think about joining beforehand? Like,
You're going to love this. So I joined out of North Chicago.
okay.
That's where Navy basic training, I think.
Yeah,
is.
yeah, we're
Right.
Great Lake, well, Waukegan.
Waukegan, exactly. So right there. And my dad had done the Navy for 4 years. So my first stop was the Marines. Then I went to the Army. Then I went to the Navy. And the Air Force recruiter was never there. He always had the sign on his door, right? So I called 3 times, didn't work, went to the Navy. Very responsive. They got me in. I was there 2 appointments. They had me down to be a linguist. The day before I went to sign the contract, I think, for a linguist, the Air Force recruiter actually picks up the phone. He's like, hey, man, I see you left a message. Do you want to come in? I'm like, bro, I'm about to be Navy. He was like, well, at least talk to me. I was like, I guess there's no harm in that. And then had the appointment, and he kind of shifted my mindset to my dad's, I guess. Because he wanted me to do Air Force, but I'm like, I can't go if I can't get in touch with the recruiter.
Well, of course, yeah.
Yeah, but Navy had me. I was pretty much Navy up until that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think, I think when I joined, because I actually didn't go to any other branches. I went straight to the Navy. I don't even know why, to be honest with you. It was just, my mom was like, why don't you join the Navy? And I was like, well, that's kind of random.
Right.
But I think like if it wasn't for the type of recruiter that I had, I don't know if I would have joined.
I think you buy the recruiter.
I think it's the recruiter more than anything, because there's other recruiters in that office where I was like, if that was my recruiter, I don't think I would have joined, because like I don't think they read me right. So do you think like, was that a good, did you like your recruiter from the Air Force?
Yes, actually, and he's in recruiting still, so I get to talk to him. But yeah, he was amazing. He was actually doing what I wanted my life to look like, and his wife was in it. He showed me like his real estate portfolio, all the numbers, because that's what I wanted to do. And he showed me his paycheck, which now I know is like a thing some people do sometimes to help the process. But yeah, it was a very honest conversation, and it got me to a point where I was kind of answering my own questions. So I was like, man, you're cool. I want to be like you.
Yeah, that Navy recruiter must have hated you after. Was it in the same building?
It was.
You crossed paths with him?
I did. Actually, on the way Well, okay, so they had the offices next to each other on the street side. So it was different offices right next to each other. And I passed him on the way in. It was awkward. Passed him on the way out. He was like, "You're going to Air Force, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "No harm, no foul, man. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. And then, see, that's the thing too. It's like there's well, because you're recruiting now, so like there's the higher you go up, the more a little bit more disconnected it is. Like, that's just the reality of any job that you have. Like, if you worked at Costco, I guarantee the general manager has no idea what's really going on a day-to-day thing.
Exactly.
So for us, like, we know these people at a ground level, and like we relate with them, and like there's nothing to, like, I always say this, and I don't know if you agree, but like on a personal level, they can't change what I've already done in the Navy. No. Like if you wanted to join, you're not gonna change my life. I'm gonna change your life. Your life is gonna change.
Exactly.
So when somebody backs out or has second thoughts, like it's not like I'm gonna like freak out on you, because it's like, okay, well, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we have the whole military experience is built for you, but yeah, when you back out, that's just your life. That's how your life has to run. All we're here to do is give you options. If it makes sense, you'll take it. If it doesn't, it just wasn't for you at the moment or in the future. It's fine.
So, so you joined the Air Force when?
2012.
2012, okay. And then you went through boot camp, and I found some pictures, right, of Air Force boot camp, because I've heard that Air Force boot camp's actually pretty decent boot camp from what I heard. Like, it's not, because there's like that whole mantra of like the Air Force is comfortable and stuff like that, which I'm sure it is. Like, cause I mean, like it looks relaxing, to be honest.
We sell a lifestyle, man.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle. Yeah.
And I have some pictures here. Let me make sure I get on the right one. So, what was your experience like at Air Force boot camp?
So I can give you my personal experience. Let me caveat with that. It's my experience, not necessarily what's going on now. Things are a little bit different. But I got there wearing my Air Force shirt. And I learned some things, man. I was very open to the experience. So we learned drill, we learned nutrition, we learned determination, all the things to make you that good airman, right?
Yep.
And I actually had a grandfather who yelled a lot, and he was like really the person in my life. So this was not a shock to me. A lot of people haven't been yelled at before, so they had a little bit of a different experience, but I got a lot out of it. It basically taught me how to adult properly.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's kind of what my experience was like too, at the basic of it.
Right.
I do see some pictures here that definitely didn't happen in my boot camp.
Okay.
Are you guys shooting M4s in boot camp?
Yes, of course.
Really?
We qualify in boot camp.
Okay. So what is that like? How long does that last? And
if I remember correctly, it's a day or maybe 2 days, depending on if you don't qualify the first time, but you qualify in the different positions, become proficient enough. You get issued a weapon at the beginning, so you have it with you the entire time.
wow.
So you get pretty familiar with it, but yeah, that's definitely necessary.
I had no idea, because like in my boot camp, we don't do that.
No weapons?
We shoot an M9 Beretta, but
Okay.
the thing is, like, I'm pretty sure if you fail, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because my job is I'm confined on the ship. Like, see, like what I work on is what I live on. So like,
Okay.
there's no one that I like, I don't need to have the rifle on board, because who am I
gonna?
And they're not, I'm not in an area that is in danger, unless of course something were to happen, but then we just do damage control.
That makes sense.
But there are people on board that are part of security. So like if you get put on security, then you get, trained for that. Whether it's rifle, pistol.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you all have an armory with like enough for everybody should that happen?
I don't know. Because like I've never seen how big the armory is.
Right.
I've seen like the little, they have like a little shack, like an armory shack.
Okay.
Where people who aren't watched can come like.
And this is on the ship.
This is on the ship.
Okay, I got you.
So
I got you.
If it really can't, like, I don't know, like I don't think so, because we're not. would they give me a rifle? I've never shot one.
So that wouldn't be to the
You know what I
best.
mean?
Right,
So
right,
that's
right,
why
right.
we have a security force on the ship, because our main job, if we're doing that, then who's maintaining the ship?
Exactly. So if it gets to you, then the other elements would have had
But
to
you got to
not
think
done
the
that, right?
odds of something like that, like being boarded by another ship. I mean,
It's not
yeah, can you imagine like rolling up on an aircraft carrier? How are you even getting on that thing?
exactly. That
You know?
makes sense.
So
That
if you
makes
get anywhere
sense.
close to us, I mean, we got the little machine gun ready for you.
Makes sense.
So
Makes sense.
and then this too.
Pugil. I don't know how to say it. Pugil sticks, puggle sticks, something like that. We did not do that because of weather for me, but I
Okay.
have seen it done, and it's just a way to get that aggression out, man. It's a safe way to see if you really got what it takes to back up what you came in doing.
So that seems like a fun day.
It was a part of a fun day. I think they tied it in with like basic medic stuff that you learn, you know. But yeah, it looked like fun. It did. I was a little mad I couldn't do it because of weather, but amazing. It was actually amazing from what I saw.
Yeah, because it seems like, if we're being honest, there's some people in boot camp that you'd like to hit with that thing. There's a few guys that man, I just want to hit you with the soft thing that
Or
won't
they
really
be
hurt
talking,
you.
they be talking back
Yeah,
and
yeah,
forth,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you finally see them square up, and you're like, oh,
They're the guys
this gonna be
having
good.
those long speeches at night,
Right.
and you're like, hey, we're trying to go to sleep.
Yeah.
They do that in Air Force boot camp too?
1,000%.
Oh, man.
1,000%. When the MTIs leave, it's a whole show. It's a whole show that happens.
It's like, hey, guys, we gotta work together as a team here. Like, bro, I'm trying to get some sleep. I'm tired.
Exactly.
Let's have this talk later.
Exactly.
So graduated boot camp, and you went to, do you guys call it AIT?
We call it tech school or
Tech
technical school.
So what did you go to tech school for? What is your job?
So I was a 2 Foxtrot, which is fuels.
Okay.
So we drive the big green trucks on the flight line, got to see all the aircraft, and then within fuels, there's different duties. So we have like a laboratory, we have facilities, accounting, training resources. We even have a environmental section. So I was the accountant. I got certified to be an accountant while I was in there.
Now that is quite the difference between being you were going to be an interpreter
Yeah.
and then doing fuels.
I always had the mindset, I'm glad you said that. I always had the mindset of just getting in,
Yeah.
because you usually get into an organization, then you figure out they have all these different things. So I was sold on the service. I didn't really care what I did. It was just a bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know with interpreter, it's like you have to D-Lab score. Did you take a D-Lab for that, or did you already qualify like after the ASVAB?
I took the D Lab and I was good to go. I don't remember exactly.
I think the school's in California that they send you to.
Yeah.
And you actually get trained like, well, we only know this because we have one person that I've put in that went CTI, and like they're literally gonna teach her. I think it's Mandarin. I think
Mandarin Chinese. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what she's gonna. You like go to like a legit school
That's
for
pretty
it.
cool. Yeah.
So-
yeah. It's like 6 months in California, and then they always tell you like you go to the beach, you get to listen to music on the beach. But yeah, it's hard work, man.
It
It's hard
is. I
work
mean,
from what
and
I've seen.
that D-Lab test is weird too because it's a fake language.
Yeah.
And you have to just kind of guess from like the structure of the sentence what it's saying.
I remember it was a monster.
I haven't taken it, so I'm sure that was.
You should try it.
It's like gibberish, right?
It's definitely gibberish. But yeah, they piece it together. But I think I've kind of always had like a mind for the obscure type stuff. But I barely got it. I remember that much. They were like, yeah, you made it.
And where was your tech school?
That was Shepherd Air Force Base in Texas.
In Texas. Okay. It's a nice place. What part of Texas? Like San Antonio area? Because I know there's a lot of Air Force stuff out in San Antonio.
I think it was a little bit further from San Antonio, and I don't remember exactly where because it was my favorite place. But I can tell you we were on the bus for probably like 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
So
okay.
it wasn't that far.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you did that. You know, you got your job, and where was your first command?
That was Aviano Air Base, Italy. That was fun.
In
Yeah.
Italy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
were you married at the time?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so did you have any kids at the time? Do you have kids now?
I do. I have 3 kids, 4, 9, and believe it or not, 18. that's a story. And then I was married, and I had my 18-year-old, obviously, and then she wasn't 18 at the time, but then my son, but they didn't come with me until my 4th year, and I was there for a total of 6 years.
Wow. So you're there for a while by yourself.
Yeah.
So how old are you?
How old are you?
Yeah, you don't look 33.
Yeah.
And even that, I mean, Griffin definitely doesn't look like he's 30.
Not at all, man. The military either makes you look older or younger, one of the two, man.
Something in the water in the Air Force, I guess. Because I'm graying.
You don't look that old either.
I'm graying though.
Yeah, I'm graying too. I'm graying too. You just can't see. That's all.
Yeah, but I look like I should be in the Fantastic Four.
Which is not a bad thing, man.
It isn't. That's a handsome guy.
I'm just saying.
But so you're in Italy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was that experience like for you? I mean, I know you were away from your family for a good portion of it, but you know, besides that, like, how was it? Like, how was it living somewhere completely different?
To be honest with you, it was the most incredible experience of my life. To make it short and sweet, I traveled. My passport's all stamped up. It gave me a whole new view and a whole new leash on life in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was some of the places you went?
Croatia, Slovenia, Czechoslovakia, Romania, within Italy, probably all the major cities, Naples, Rome, Venice, several times, almost every weekend. The list goes on and on, man.
So did you go there? Did you travel there for work, or was a lot of it like your own personal travel? And
Romania was work, but the majority of it was my own personal thing.
I mean, that's really cool to be able to, you know, explore that. And like, when you went on deployments, where did you go for a deployment, or were you just kind of there the whole time? Like, how did that work?
So we had to go back stateside for some training for my job. As far as deployments, I've been to Saudi Arabia, Africa. Romania was one of them. Croatia was one.
So do you think the best experience that you can get in the Air Force, like if you get stationed, and this is just, you know, for like the Navy, like we travel a lot, like that's like our thing is like literally going around the world.
Right.
But it seems like if you get stationed overseas, which I feel like there's more stations out there for like other branches besides, like the Navy has Italy and Rota and Japan and stuff like that. Those are like the major ones, but I always hear like there's a lot of different places in the Air Force. So getting stationed overseas, that's like the best way to see the world and for the Air Force, or like, because let me ask you this: when you go on a deployment, let's say when you went to Bahrain, how long did you stay in Bahrain? Wait, what did you say?
So
did you say
Africa
Bahrain?
Or Saudi Arabia?
Oh, Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
That's what I meant.
So when I went to Saudi Arabia, I stayed there for 6 months. And that's a typical deployment, you could say, 3, 4, or 6 months. Sometimes they realign the bands of what we do, but I was there for 6 months. And within that, I actually traveled, or forward deployed is what we call it, to other locations. So you are traveling for work, but you can even travel within that travel.
Oh, that's really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I have some pictures here.
Okay.
Right, of where you were at, and it's honestly incredible.
Yeah.
So here we go. And you were saying before we got on that this is like the flight line, like where you were at.
Right. So that is literally what I saw every day at work. That should be Piancavallo, the mountain. And my house was off base because they don't have on base housing. And we lived at the foot of Piancavallo, so slightly up the hill.
Wow.
Yeah. It's literally what you see. Sometimes you just go outside and stare at the mountains.
Trying to see what else is.
That is the flight. That's the entire base for Aviano. So, yeah.
Oh, that's some flat areas over there too.
Oh, yeah. Pretty awesome.
Okay, what is this what you usually see?
It's not the base. I've never seen that, but it's in Italy somewhere, I'm sure.
And this is it. Okay, so I was gonna say we do have a Naval Air Station.
Right.
So you guys are all the way up here. Wow, you're closer to like. So did you ever go to Switzerland? Did you ever go over there? Yeah.
Yes, I did. Actually, we sent a lot of people to Sigonella. It was like a rotating deployment for some of us. So we have one person there for 6 months. They come back. We send another person.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a lot of.
And then you've been to Naples. We have the Naval Hospital over there too. So there's a lot of stuff going on in Italy. I didn't know it was that
It's pretty.
It was that big.
Yeah, it's
over
amazing,
there.
man. And there's a lot of Navy presence. I actually have a lot of friends in the Navy because of just how interactive we are with each other out there.
Yeah. This is the Naval Air Station one. Mm-hmm. Trying to see if there's anything else in here. Just going through it. Nah, nothing else really. Okay. But that is really cool to be able to have that experience, right away.
Oh yeah.
Right away. So not only did you get, the you had that fulfillment of being in service, but like on top of that, you got to live in a different country and your family got to enjoy it too. So
I can even say my oldest daughter got to play softball for the base team, or not the base team, but the high school in a volcano.
Inside?
So not like obviously the dangerous part, but close enough to call it the volcano. So yeah, it's those type of experiences. My results aren't typical, like they'd say with some products, but if you stay in and you don't initially go overseas, it's always an option for you.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So, and then you came out here to recruiting right after that?
No, so it was Aviano and then Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina for 2 years and then recruiting.
Okay. Obviously, recruiting is a much different job than what you were doing, and it's different than what I was doing.
Right.
And, there's challenges no matter what job you're doing.
Yeah.
What do you see out here, like, for people who are making the decision, right? What do you think some people's, like, biggest mistake is when, considering this as an option?
The unknown. And when I say the unknown, I kind of mean I know roughly what my future holds. But if I go this military route, there's so many unknowns that I just don't know if I should go there. I might have regrets.
Yeah. Right? I think, for sure. That's always the challenge. And, basically what I tell people with that is, life is unknown either way. I thought I was going to be going to school.
Right.
I thought that was it, but it wasn't. Right. I didn't know there was going to be a wrench thrown in that plan.
Right.
And, I think me and you could agree that the military does like secure that you will be getting paid and being, financially stable for at least however long that contract is. And
exactly
that when you don't join the military, then you don't have that same outlook.
Exactly. So I flip it. I flip when they say that to the two plates. So you got one plate, you kind of know what's out there for you. This is the unknown. What we have is all these benefits guaranteed right now.
Yeah.
So don't look at it like that. We have the guarantee. You don't.
Yeah. The only unknowns is literally location. And that's really it. Like at the end of the day, it's location. Like where am I going to live? Other than that, like you're going to be doing everything the same way.
Right.
So let me ask you, we'll start with the bad, because that's how I always do it. What is like the most challenging part about being in the Air Force?
Being in the Air Force. So leadership, because you can come in and be led by someone, but when it's your turn to be the NCO or the work center supervisor, you have to really take it seriously to do a good job. And that requires some studying. There are different leadership styles, different people. So it's not so much a challenge, but you always find a way to be better, Yeah.
And you have all these ideas of how you think you're going to lead until it actually happens. And you're like, okay, let me.
Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face.
And what's your favorite part about being in the Air Force?
Man, just the experience. Not just Italy, but the education I've been able to receive, the ways I'm more prepared to be outside of the military. Like, we're talking degrees, certifications. I would have to try to not make six figures somewhere with what I've accomplished so far. So, yeah.
That's definitely true.
Oh, yeah.
And then, obviously, we have our Eagle here.
Oh, yeah.
And we love to pay homage whenever we have a guest and every week. And what do you got for the old Eagle here?
So this is a Shaw Air Force Base coin. This means a lot to me because this was a place I got to flex that leadership before coming here and then replacing myself in the Air Force, so to speak.
Here, I'll show the camera. So this is
Shaw Air Force Base. Yeah.
Staff Sergeant Tanner's gift to the Eagle. Little challenge coin.
Oh yeah.
And we'll put you right here next to another challenge coin. We'll shift that over. Very close to a piece of the World Trade Center. So,
That's amazing.
hey, thank you so much for coming in. It means a lot for you to, take time out of your day and come here and on a Navy podcast, So,
oh yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Thanks,
you for
guys.
having
And if you guys are interested in talking to either me or Staff Sergeant Tanner here, you just comment or message or whatever you got to do. Right? Don't waste time. Figure out what you want to do with your life. And if you have more questions, feel free to ask us. And we'll see you next Thursday. Peace.
me. Peace.